Hello, hi, what's up? Welcome to The Success Side, where I bring learning conversations, experiences, stories from the leader next door, people who live around us. Can be your friend, a family member, a colleague, people who've made it big, people who are successful. So let's hear from them. Let's hear their stories. What they did, how they did, their ups and downs. So let's get this party started. Today, we have one of the best leadership and happiness guru with us, Avinash Ananda. He has walked with celebrities, CEOs, monks, and kids. Super fantastic. Let's jump right in. Stick with me. All right. So, namaskaram.
Namaskar, namaskar. How are you, Raj?
Very, very good. I
That's
would
good.
love to see your namaskar once again because
Oh, you
I'm
want to see
more
the ring?
interested in seeing those rings. Absolutely. So there we go. So yeah, let's start with that.
Start with the rings?
Yeah.
Okay. See, I was 10 years old, uh, and my sister was 8 years old at that time. And my father was a corporate professional, and he used to love going for seminars. Our business is training and seminars. So my dad was in the pharmaceutical industry, and he was in total quality management, and he loved these seminars, and he befriended all these speakers, the trainers. So one of these guys was a great friend of my father. His name was Professor Rishi Kumar Pandya. And I still remember I was 10 years old in that seminar. Dad took us there, and I was watching this person mesmerized. And he became my guru, he became my mentor for 30 years. So, and he used to wear these long rings. He had big rings and he had long hair. So in my process of emulating the inside, this is easier to emulate the outside. So I think that stuck. And
Yeah.
today he's no more on this planet. So this is my way of remembering him.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
I remember my roots.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
So
So that's the
where were
story
you
there.
when you were 10 years old?
Where was I? I was in where was I? I was in Hyderabad. I was
Okay.
in, so they were working there. Dad and mom was a bank employee. She started as an officer. She retired. She started as a trainee, retired as an officer. 29 years, one job, which I cannot understand how someone can do that. But hats off to her. And dad was in the corporate world. I told you. So they kept sometimes they were transferred. So we
Okay.
lived in Hyderabad. Then we lived in Bangalore. So this was in Hyderabad.
Okay. And you were born in Hyderabad?
I was born in Bangalore.
Okay.
I was born in Bangalore, grew up, spent about 10 years in Hyderabad, then came back to Bangalore, did my college in Bangalore, and then I went to the US for, before my college. I went on a Rotary scholarship there.
Oh
So,
wow.
yeah, that was fun.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting. How did you manage to do that?
I didn't. They selected me, and I went. And at that time, I remember because uh, I remember that I was given an airplane ticket, a one-way airplane ticket, and I had to. And then when I went there, I worked a little bit, and then I earned my fare back. So I went for a 1 year trip there. I had to do my last year of high school there, and I wanted to see all of America, but I didn't have any money. But I had this thing that I had learned how to speak. So I used my skill of speaking, but then I had to ask myself, what should I speak on? Because what do people there want to hear?
Yeah.
So they were very curious about India. So I sat there and I read about Vivekananda. So I read his complete works so that I could talk about India and Indian philosophy. And that got me invited to various Rotary clubs all over America, and that paid for my travel. So that way I got to see all of America. So it was an amazing experience.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this guru, this mentor, this coach is inbuilt, ingrained kind of stuff.
It started young. Started young. I really believe. I don't know if you've seen that movie, Ratatouille. Have you seen the movie? Huh?
Yes.
The Ratatouille. The line in that is that anyone can cook. Huh? So I strongly believe anyone can train. I think everyone has that inbuilt in them. It just needs to be nurtured and honed, and you have to find that mentor who can get that out of you. Is what I believe strongly, because that's what happened with me.
But
Can I
nobody.
share, Raj, can I share with you one thing that my mentor used to say? Huh?
Yes.
It's a shlok, Sanskrit shlok. So he said he was a Sanskrit scholar. He said, "Amantram aksharo nashti, nashti malam anaushadam." Huh? Amantram aksharo nashti, nashti malam anaushadam. Ayogya purusho nashti, yojaka satra durlabha. What he means is this is there is not a single letter of the alphabet from which a mantra cannot be made. Huh? Amandra Vakshanasti, Nashti Malamanashan, there is not a single part of a tree or a plant or a root from which, according to Ayurveda, a medicine cannot be made. Ayogya Purushalasti, there is not a single individual who does not have the capacity for greatness. Yojakas Tatra Durlabha, what is Durlabh, what is Nayab, what is rare, what is difficult to find, is that individual who can bring out that mantra, who can bring out that medicine, who can bring out the greatness of the individual. So teachers, gurus, people who spend their time in being change catalysts, and those who help them, like you, I think are blessed people. So I've been blessed. That's how it began.
Superstars like world renowned, a guru, a coach, a leader, a CEO, a chairperson, go on and on and on.
Yes,
So
teacher is simple.
yeah. So how all of this has kind of, when is that you realize that this is what I really want to do?
That moment, when I was 10 years old, I was looking at this man and he was teaching them stress management, I remember. So he made all the adults, because they were all corporate professionals in suits sitting over there, and he was in his kurta pajama and he was doing his thing. And his simplicity, his depth of knowledge, his connect with the audience, and his lifestyle. He used to work only 5 days in a month, 25 days play sitar.
Wow.
So he's an amazing sitar player. He's from the Mayher Gharana. And that's where I learned all of these things, which today I am fortunate to be sharing.
Wow.
So
Do you also play any instrument?
I would not say that. I was learning music under him, vocal music, but he
Hmm.
said I was a lousy student. And I believe him. So I sing, but I sing for myself and for family and things like that.
Oh, awesome.
I play the mouth organ, the harmonica, I play the harmonium, but it's just for pleasure. Yeah,
Awesome. Awesome.
it's good fun.
So right after college, is that what you've started your journey, or?
Yeah, I started at the age of 17. At the age of 17, I conducted my first training program, and this was in Bangalore. Because from the age of 10 to the age of 17, I said I should not lose so much time, because I started learning at that age. So I decided the best way to do it is guts. So let's get into it. So guts, later I learned, can be an acronym: genuine urge to succeed. Because we're a
Wow.
trainer in us. The trainer in us, has to come out somewhere. So what I did was I said, okay, now nobody knows me. So what should I do? So I said, let's do some marketing. So I had a friend of mine, Manoj, I remember his name was, and he put up posters all over in the coffee shops and everywhere in Bangalore. And I went off for another course on meditation, Zen meditation, where I was being trained by a Japanese Zen master. As soon as I came out of that course, my friend had been able to gather about 30 people in the audience who were about 30, 40-year-old from different companies, because they made the brochure in such a way that they did not put my picture there, because they didn't know that it was a kid. They didn't put my age there. I was 17 years old. But
Wow.
by the time I had done a lot of stuff, so then it was a nice profile, which was absolutely true. But the seminar was called Make It Happen. Make It Happen was on the art of setting goals and achieving goals. So I remember the first thing when I stood over there, I tried to grow a little mush to look older because I was 17 years old. And I had all the 30, 40-year-old guys sitting in front of me, corporate guys. And the first question one guy asked me was, what goals have you set in your life that qualifies you to teach us? He asked me. First question. So I said, listen, the first goal I said was to get you here. Okay? You are here. Now the second goal I have is to finish the day happily. So if you allow me and support me and encourage me, I will do that. They said, yeah, we're with you, do it, man. So I studied a lot of books, I remember the Brian Tracy at that time, he's still going strong. And Charles Garfield, I remember reading all these books, coming there and performing, and then doing the interactivity. It was a great, great, thrilling experience. But what was more exciting for me was about 20 days later, when one of the participants called me back and said that as a result of your learnings from the workshop, I was able to make this change in my business, and now I'm doing much better, and things are looking much brighter. I said, "Holy cow, this stuff works, man." Okay.
17, huh?
We're 17. Huh? But I was not allowed to do it much because my dad always told me, he said, uh, before you teach somebody, you have to learn something, right? So grow up a little bit. Huh? So I did this more like a hobby on the side. So I went into the corporate world. I studied. I did my industrial relations, mass communication, HR related subjects, and then I got into advertising. I got into marketing. I ran businesses. Did a whole lot of stuff before one day I got back full time into training.
Great, great. And what was that turning point there? Where did Gamma? Am I pronouncing it right?
Gamma. That's right. That's right.
Gamma.
Gamma. Yeah.
When did that happen?
See, Gamma happened much later. Actually, it's just been a title change. Huh? In the beginning, I was very motivated by the American trainers. So the American trainers always put their own name in front there. So you have the Tony Robbins, or you have right from the Dale Carnegie. It's the name of the individual. So I first started with my name as my academy. Then I got over that ego trip, huh? And then decided to make it into an organization. Uh, so then I created an organization, and then the name evolved to become Gamma, because the turning point was when I was actually looking for something that would fill a need in the market. Because I said there are so many trainers, there are so many people who, in fact, these days there are more teachers than students. Everybody wants to be a speaker, everybody wants to be a teacher. So what can we say that is new? I said, if there is nothing to say that is new, then might as well be with somebody who's already saying it.
Right.
So we did a lot of research. My sister is a psychotherapist. My wife is also now in the field, and she's been an educationist for a long time. She works with kids too. She teaches speech and drama. So we did a lot of thinking about this and research, and I honestly came to the conclusion that there is nothing new to say. Whatever has to be said has been said in some form or the other by somebody or the other. All that we can do is, if we come up with something, we can package old wine in new bottle. And
Right.
I found this has been happening even if you take Vipassana meditation. Your John Kabat-Zinn took it to America and started mindfulness. Now, mindfulness was better marketed, so people don't know the connection. Then I found that Deepak Chopra, Sri Ravi Shankar ji, all these come from their guru, who was Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. Okay? Anthony Robbins was the #1 motivational speaker in America. His teacher, he says Jim Rohn, but he learned most of his work comes from NLP. NLP was started by John Grinder and Richard Bandler. So I learned from Richard Bandler. So when I got deeper into all this, I found that everything is being repackaged and promoted like a brand, but they all have their origin somewhere, and they've all been said somewhere. So I said, if you have to be honest, and if I have to still add value, what can I do? So we came up with this concept of putting everything in one place. Because you have a separate corporate training, which is more skill-based. You have separate technical training, which is more knowledge-based. You have separate values-based training, which is either for top management or for kids. You have separate motivational training, all the clapping and the jumping up and down, which is for the motivational guys. But there's no one place where you put all of them together. So we tried to make a holistic system where we have aligned with all the existing. We researched about 450 different sources,
Wow.
and the inspiration for that, the turning point to answer your question, was an experience that I had to conduct a program for an IT company for top managers based on a Harvard Business School curriculum. So I was a faculty for this Harvard Business School publishing certification program for top IT managers, where I had to translate what these Harvard guys are saying to make sense to these top IT guys who normally never go for training because they send other people. I'm talking right at the top level. and it has to make sense for them to stay through the entire program. So we created a program called Spectrum, made the acronym of that, and did the program. The one of the things that I read at that time was a work by Nitin Nohria, who was the dean of Harvard Business School, called "What Really Works." What It's a very interesting paper, Rajesh. You get hold of it. What Really Works says that Tom Peters came in search of excellence. He interviewed some companies which were excellent. His book became a bestseller. He became a management guru. But 15 years later, those companies went down. Then
Oh,
somebody else came. The point is that everybody says this will work or that will work. Every time there's a new fad or a new technique or a new acronym. But what will stand the test of time? What really works? And he came up with a very robust research for what works to make a company really successful over 50 years, over 100 years. So we said, can we come up with something like this for happiness? What really will give long-term happiness to individuals? And we created an entire system, did a lot of research. That was the turning point.
wow. Wow. And you have this a full-fledged program now, right?
That's right. That's right. We have a full-fledged program that incorporates all this, and all the work that we do is basically an excerpt of that full-fledged. It's a system. We've created a system. Colloquially, we call it applied science of leadership and happiness. The premise is that to be happy, we have to be able to take charge of our inner processes, our mind, to train our mind, and we have to be able to influence other people also. Because
Right.
if you're not able to influence our outside surroundings and we just be happy here, then something outside will disturb it. So we need to have both. So that works it very beautifully with the companies also and with the educational institutions we work for. It's working. Something we're doing is working. I don't know what.
So what is working? I mean, I'm sure you have examples, right?
Raj, your questions are fantastic, man. I've got so many questions to ask you myself, but you're not allowing me to. I will. Between, I'll slip it in. I asked a friend of mine in Europe this question. I've been working with this company for more than 10 years now. And I joke with these people. They have 1,000 employees they had when they started off. We have this concept that we train everybody from CEO to sweeper.
Okay.
We have another concept that we don't train the company unless the CEO is willing to be trained. Because you cannot create lasting change or cultural change in an organization unless the change comes from the top. If you want to do 1 day program, 2 day program, you want to have fun, you want to do it as a last resort in some resort, that's okay. But if you really want to create change, it has to be done over a period of time. And we keep going back every month to reinforce it until it becomes a habit. So that stickiness makes it application oriented. That is what I think works. Because I joked and I asked my clients, I said, why you keep calling me back? You didn't understand what I said last time? Right? So that company, for example, has grown more than 4 times in the last 10 years. And even in the economic crisis that they had, they were able to grow. So, and they give me some credit. I don't know how to exactly map it and measure it, but I'm very happy for the credit.
Awesome.
Something seems to be working.
That's brilliant. And so, like the 4 times things are working.
Yeah.
Maybe for the listeners, do you have any, like, real examples where uh, for somebody there is change in the way that the the person kind of carries out his professional, his personal life, or group
Yeah.
of people like that?
See, we work with different audiences. So I think what you're talking about is the corporate audience. Is that correct? Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
talking about corporate. Because we
yeah.
have about 200 companies that we've been working with over a period of time, over the last 20 years, I think, 20, 25 years. And now we've started working with companies with this MetaMind alignment concept, where we work with them on a contract over a period of at least 1 year. And then we renew that. So when we work with companies like that, we have our measurement systems in place. There's a friend of mine I met over a drink uh, in Taj in Bombay. His name, the he was a director of performance measurement, vice president performance measurement at Accenture, Tad Waddington. And I asked him a question over a drink. He has a PhD in measurement. So I asked him, Tad, can happiness be measured? He said, if it exists, it can be measured. Uh, Anything that exists can be measured. So I laughed, I joked, and I said, listen, I have it, you measure it. Okay. So there's a lot of experiment, a lot of work that has been done now in the field of positive psychology also that correlates happiness to performance. And essentially, what we do is I have a lot of success stories. This company that I was referring to you about, since you wanted specific examples, there's a company called Agna Group. Agna Group is run by a visionary leader in Albania. His name is Vasil Nachi. Okay, and he came and attended my program in India 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago. Uh, at the Indo-American Society. Okay, and he attended a program for about 3 hours that I conducted. It was a 6 session, but I had other trainers who were doing it, so I did for 3 hours there. And then he invited me there, and since then I've been working with him. And there's tremendous transformation. That's the company that I mentioned to you that's grown tremendously in terms of numbers. It's a multi-million euro company that grew several times over in the last 10 years. So we have several examples that when the employees take care, or when the management takes care of the happiness of the employees, the business grows. So all our programs are happiness centric, but happiness is not just switch yourself off, close your eyes and meditate. No,
Right.
happiness comes in three areas: will, skill, and thrill. The will part is the mindset element. The skill part is the behavioral element. So we do all of these skills like communication, team building, and all that, but we have the appropriately mapped mindsets that you need to have to actually learn the skill sets. This ensures that the skill set remains for a longer time and becomes a part of the person. But the thrill is about execution. Do they remember it? Do they use it when we are not there? And we have a system which is called I lead. I lead is I lead myself. So we have to begin, leadership begins with self. So there is 10 different modules. And these 10 different modules we do once per month for every employee in the company.
Wow.
That creates cultural transformation.
Wow.
So it's a big commitment on the part of the team or the organization, but there's proven results. So far it's working well.
How you do the thrill part of it? I really love the skill, will, and thrill. So how do you do the thrill part of it?
See, the thrill part of it is with a lot of techniques. See, for what I mean by the thrill part of is this: you may know what you want, and you may be very motivated to get it.
Hmm.
So you have the will part. So the motivation is there, clarity is there, ki kya chahiye, all that is there. You
Hmm.
may even know how to get it. You know the strategies. You've learned communication skills. You've learned this skill, that skill. Everything is the team building. But at the time of performance is what is the thrill. Huh? So if a person is sitting in a car and he knows where he wants to go, the car is also working okay. He knows how to drive, but at that time he's drunk, okay, or at that time he's distracted, or at that time he's stressed. Then all his will and skill are of no use unless he's able to harness that and implement it at that point of time. Execution with flow. You know, the optimal level of performance where you're enjoying your work, that Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, University of Chicago professor called it flow. How you enjoy the work and time stops and you're excellent at your performance, how to make it all work for you. That's the thrill part. And there's several techniques we have for that, which we take from all the different sources, from meditation to hypnosis to your latest in neurosciences, everything.
No, I love the example. Seriously, I mean, if you
Yeah,
are drunk and you are not in your senses, then
uh,
the thrill of driving will go out.
that's right. And you won't even reach there.
Yeah,
So if people have fear, for example, they are about to go for a meeting. They have prepared for the meeting. They know their stuff. But because at that moment fear or stress grips them, how to handle that in that moment to change their state of mind so they're able to perform.
brilliant.
That's the thrill part. Yeah. But there are some companies that focus only on that thrill part. So they all talk about jumping up and down, clapping your hands. Array, but what about the knowledge? What about the clarity? What about the direction? So you have to have a combination of all this.
I agree.
Super. So that's why I have the good fortune of working with CEOs. Or with the founders of the company, because there's a plus point and there's a minus point in that. The minus point is only in the beginning, but that's no problem because that's great fun. Is that the first question they have is, I grew my company from this to $100 million or $200 million. What are you going to teach me? or I'm this level now. What can you teach me? So we say we have to begin with you. So the first thing I call this breaking the coconut. Using the Indian analogy of starting something new. So the hardest nuts to crack is what they give me, and I specialize in hard nuts to crack. Anybody who doesn't want to learn, they send them to me. So I have parents sending their kids to me. I have, all kinds of situations. So I have the CEOs who say that this is my top guy. Everything is okay about him, but people get pissed off with him. Just change that one part. Don't let him leave. He's doing everything else right, but people are getting pissed off. I don't want him to piss off people. Now, then I work with the person on just that, and we change that. We do one-to-one coaching, and we work with it. So we do behavioral transformation. The I was once called to the Dalai Lama. I went to the Dalai Lama temple, and I was invited to train the monks there
Wow.
on happiness. On happiness, can you imagine this? Okay. Now these are guys who teach the world happiness.
I know.
And I was going to train them happiness. So the first question that I asked them is, and we had a great time. We were laughing all the time. It was good fun. But sitting on the floor, and I asked them a question. I said, listen, you are sitting in Himalayas and you're happy, right? He said, yeah. So I said, if you come to Mumbai and you get married and you go to work every day and you go in the traffic and you have a boss, okay, that's the kind of happiness people are looking for. People are not looking for the happiness of going away somewhere and being happy. They want to know how to be happy with all this stuff around them. Okay, so let's talk about that happiness. So that way the context gets changed, minds get open. It's an amazing experience.
Brilliant. Brilliant. So I'm sure people must be missing you now, right? Your
Yeah, I hope
clients.
so. I hope so.
Are they not?
I don't know because I guess when I talk to some people, they will tell me. Those people I talk to are not missing me because I'm talking to them. The other people I don't know.
Okay.
I'm sure.
Are you still doing your workshops and your
I'm yeah,
one-to-one?
yeah. So what I've done now is this is a totally new world that is open up to me, which is the online world because I'm technologically challenged. I have worked for more than 25, 30 years now without any marketing. Uh, all the work that I'm getting is only through word of mouth and through satisfied clients referring it to someone else. And because of the kind of work that I do also with celebrities and with individuals who have crisis situations, one-to-one when we do coaching, it's very, very confidential work. Also, the work I do with organizations, uh, a guy who's got some business growth through our training, he recommends it to his friend and says, get this guy. I don't know what he does, but your business will grow. And then they do one-day program, and then we talk, and then it goes into the entire organization, and we form a system. And after I go there, then I move out slowly and I send my trainers. That's the way I've set up the entire system, the business. So right now, I've been experimenting a little bit with live sessions, Instagram live, and with recording. Because I see the future is technology.
You are
Or you
you
want
feeling it? Yeah.
yeah, of course. Yeah. There's a lot of differences. So I see a difference in the overall, or at least there should be this difference in the overall mindset. The bar has been raised. This is one more change I found in terms of mindset. When there is less money, or when there is fear that there will be less money, uh, when there is uncertainty, only essential uh, are allowed. Even now, if you look at the law, they say who is allowed outside only if it's essential. Who is allowed to work? Only essential services are allowed to work. This should make everybody get up and realize that we're not essential. Those of us who are sitting at home.
Yep.
Okay? So we need to look at it from that perspective and think, and don't look at it as a negative thing, but see what can we do to reinvent ourselves, to add more value and become, if not essential, at least more relevant to people. Can we adapt in these times? Can we reinvent in these times? And can we maybe reskill, upskill ourselves, learn something new to be more essential? Uh, So,
I think three things: collaboration, give back, and be essential.
absolutely, yeah. Collaboration, give back,
Right.
and also very important that comes in the power to influence and motivate. We need motivators. See,
Absolutely.
when things are clear, we know
Yeah.
what to do. We don't need motivation. You need motivation when there is stress. You need motivation when there is lack of clarity. When you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, you need somebody telling you, oh yeah, it will work. Don't worry, have belief in yourself. So we have to know how to be our own motivators, which means manage our mind. And there's so much of garbage that is coming to us in terms of information and misinformation. How
Yep.
to sieve out all that. So motivating ourselves and motivating other people, influencing them to buy our niche. So we may find that niche, which I spoke about in the earlier one, but how to sell that niche is the third aspect of it. How to motivate ourselves and how to motivate others. And I found one more thing, if I may share as part of this, is I found that training online is a very different ball game from training face to face. So there may be some new skills that the trainers will have to learn, or the HRD people, or even the leaders who want to motivate their people who are in remote places. And one of them is speaking skills, where I'm saying visual impact, auditory impact, and emotional impact. Of course, with the message being sensible and well articulated. You cannot hold the attention of people on a screen unless you have some drama happening, unless you have some, so learning. So learning, and also you have to be careful. And some people, they don't realize that they're on this thing. They're wearing shorts underneath. Huh? You're wearing shorts underneath or no? See,
Well,
but
that's a secret.
see, so people tend to stand up. They're not used to this, so they have to develop their, apart from that emotional intelligence, social intelligence, develop their digital intelligence, digital quotient. This is the new normal. So I strongly suggest for all the trainers, all the motivators, all the leaders, all the managers, learn superior motivation speaking skills, because you if it's just your content that is good, people will go to sleep. They will not engage with you.
Yeah.
You don't have too much of that leeway to do all those activities that you used to do.
Yeah.
You don't even have the crutch of the PowerPoint presentations that we used to say that people look at PowerPoint because they want to visually learn. Actually, the trainers use PowerPoint because they don't know what to say if the PowerPoint goes off. Okay, so it's more of a crutch. My mentor used to say, too much PowerPoint is very little power and not much point.
Love that. I'll use it. I'm stealing that.
Yeah, please go ahead. It's all there.
And you can't walk up to the person and tap on the shoulder saying that, dude, wake up.
That's right. You cannot do all. So you have to be good. The bar, and we are not in a bar right now, but the bar has raised. Only the excellent will survive. The way to deal with uncertainty, the way to deal with insecurity is to develop excellence.
Love it. Love it.
This is what
And
I've learned.
you're making my job very, very easy. So my next I wanted to really ask you is, what is the impact, that in a way that you've already articulated, but
Sure.
still, if you have to give us like the impact on freelancing, the impact on the training industry, the impact on kind of, consulting business, what do you have you experienced yourself? Do you have
Yes, see,
about it?
I've thought about it, and for me, in fact, it's a little different because my business has grown. It's
Yeah,
strange, but I'm more busy now than I was ever before. It's in a different way, uh, and I'm learning lot of new things right now. But so what I've seen happening now is that a lot of those people who went away and wanted to use the knowledge and try to fight in the marketplace based on price are being the most affected today, because when you fight on price in the market, you're delivering something that they want and that many people can supply. So basic skills, you have so many people who will do communication skills, you have so many
yeah,
people who will do stress management, so and if you are given the templates by the company, then it becomes even more standardized because there's not much scope for difference. So then it's a shop, it's like a workshop, it's a factory. These people are the most hit. And I found that those who provide something different, like we were talking about Pooja earlier, one of my trainers who's been with me now for 9 years. She's been trained by us for 9 years. She's gone through training. Her own passion was dance. So she learned professional dance. And then she learned the positive psychology, meta-mind alignment systems from us. She combined these two, and she now does a program called Dance and Emotions, which today is going fantastic because
Fabulous.
people want something different.
Fab-
People want music, people want dance. So today is the time for niche. So those freelancers, those trainers who are able to provide something niche, uh, and if they are able to adapt it and position it in a way that is required for today's times, they are doing extremely well. Whereas the others who are run of the mill, who are only looking at delivering the same thing that others were delivering, they were not able to create that positioning for themselves. They are going through tough times. So my recommendation to those people would be, please up your game by learning speaking skills, motivational skills, because then you will be able to speak in a way that is engaging to the audience even on a screen. I know people who are teaching karate online now. They're using digital technology, animation along with person. I know people who are doing dance, teaching dance online through your various medium that you have.
Yeah.
You can have classrooms. So I think they're moving digital a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I found that also for me personally, one-to-one coaching has shot up.
Oh, okay.
A lot of people who are still working, they're still on the payroll, so why not get them trained? So their bosses have decided that we need to put these people, they themselves also come for the coaching. So on strategy, they say that if you sweat more in peace, you will bleed less in war. So in this time when everybody is confined and isolated, this is a great time for the training business, provided we're able to create that niche, provided we're able to collaborate, provided we're able to position it well, and upskill our own presentation skills so we can motivate other people even when we talk something that may be uh, only information based. I strongly suggest for people who are only giving information, technical information, children's education, if you want to go, but do it with animation, do it with that with the spark in the eye and with all the paraphernalia.
So it's the
But
time for drama in life, little
it's
bit,
time
huh?
for drama. That's right. So we call that improv theatrics.
Okay.
Improvised in metamind alignment. We have a term for that. Improvised theatrical way of presentation. So that audio visual means what you hear is audio, what you see is visual.
I have to have these. Great. So, Avinash Ananda, are you concerned? Are you concerned about your business? Are
Yes,
you
yes, of course I am.
are you scared about your business,
No,
the
I'm
way
not scared.
things are
I'm not
going?
scared. I'm concerned. I'm not scared. I'm concerned more than my business. I'm concerned about the industry. People are not ready for this crisis, is what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned that people will continue to think in the same way and continue to try to be one up over the other instead of going for the top, which is empty, uh, where all you need to do is skill up, find one niche area, and find a way to become an expert and master in that niche. And
Right.
then collaborate with other people who have their own niches and build your brand. Brand comes from actually delivering the results, adding the value. This is the concern that I have. Are people willing to put in the effort to do this because it's needed. So from my side, what I'm trying to do is I want to come up with a new course. I've not yet put it together, but an online course to teach people presentation skills.
Oh, super nice.
So if that can happen, and then with your help and with other people who are interested in helping the community, even managers, if your manager has to have a meeting, if you just have a simple meeting, how can you influence the people in the meeting who are sitting at various locations? You need
Right.
to be more effective. You need to be more influential. And the other thing is, if you're all alone, how do you motivate yourself? You need to be able to, so these things, motivating yourself and motivating other people, are very important skills to be learned.
Perfect. Perfect. And obviously, all this you're saying it because do you feel that this is here to stay?
I see. I do not want it to stay.
I don't want COVID to stay, but
Right.
I'm talking about the situation.
No, I
And
wish the learnings that I mentioned stay. Huh? I wish that, see, there are three things to do when you come out of a crisis situation, and I'm sure we'll be out of the crisis situation because when you don't know what is going to happen, it is better to believe that it will be good. I strongly believe that if you know what's going to happen, you know. But if you don't know, why think it's going to be bad? Might as well think it's going to be good because at least you have the energy to go on today. So let's believe it will be good. Let's work towards it as if it will be good. But my point is, even if everything is good and we come out of it, there's one of three things that will happen to people. Either people will break down as a result of this, or people will go back to what they used to be in some way, try to use the old ways, or people will grow. I
Right.
hope people grow. That's my concern. My concern is I hope that people really grow, and work on increasing their influence on themselves and on the people around them. Take more responsibility for the energy that you are giving out. Don't be
Right.
entitled. Is my concern.
Right. Right. And obviously, this virtual world will be here to
Absolutely.
stay.
I think in any case it would be here because this is the world that will scale it. So if you have something of impact to give, this is the way to scale it. I don't think there will be any substitute. I come from the old school, to the one-on-one contact. But I think that if we explore, and if there's no other way, then we should find ways to make this effective.
The corporate side of the world, where what do you think in your opinion, what are they thinking? The HR heads, the L&D heads, how do they build up the people capabilities, or what is their plan?
See, I've confidence. Confidence. Where does it come from? Confidence comes from clarity. When there is clarity, we feel confident. Confidence comes from competence. When we know what to do, we feel confident. But today there is no clarity, huh? And there is no competence to handle the situation because it never happened before.
Right.
But I think the role of HR and the role of corporate leaders today is to give confidence. huh? Now, how do you give confidence when there's no clarity and no competence? Because there is a third way of giving confidence, and that is with belief. huh? There is no basis, but you need to be confident. Simon Sinek said, "Leader eats last." Our leader he has one more concept that he talks about, where he says that security. People have leaders because they want to feel safe. Today, if you take away safety, they don't need a leader. People will rebel. So, if you want to keep an organization together that is where the future is uncertain, if you want to keep employees engaged when they are virtually in different locations, if you want to keep them confident and loyal, and reduce the attrition and keep them motivated even when you don't know what is going to happen, then the way to do it is first you need to work, the managers or the leaders or the HR people need to work on themselves, developing and projecting this confidence, which is based only on belief. Okay? So, how to develop belief when the reality says something else is a skill that I think people need to learn. And all our community of trainers who talk so much about motivation and belief, and this is the time to use it. huh?
Right.
So this is the time where you can really teach the people how to be confident. Because and then if you can teach people how to project this confidence, how to transmit this. A leader does three things: learn, apply, transmit. Okay? If we can teach them how to learn to be confident, how to apply that confidence in their workplace, and how to transmit it to their people, that is the need of the game. That is the key objective of the HR people. The second thing I would say for HR people and for managers today in the corporate world is familiarity, is adaptability in uncertainty, or being comfortable with things changing very fast. Ambiguity, handling things in ambiguity. There again, they need to have very high energy levels. And they need to be able to think in terms of, if I do this, what will happen? I know one company today, for example, where it was declared that all the services, this happened today, all this, I cannot name the company, but all the services, they extended the essential services list. And in this company fit in that. So they said 50% of your employees can come to work. Then one evening before that, they clamped it down. The government changed the rule. Here in Karnataka, it happened, where I am. Right now, currently I'm in Karnataka. And the rule changed. So now all the employees who had come there, 50% of the workforce could come to work as per law. They had to go back. So there are a lot of things, new challenges that will come up, and you need new ways to deal with these new challenges. For that, people need to be comfortable with rapid changes, with ambiguity. So this rapid speed, agility if you want to put it in points. I'm talking about for managers, they need to learn agility, they need to learn how to keep themselves confident, and they need to learn how to transmit this confidence to other people. This is their key function, apart from the work that they can do.
Right.
Whatever work can be done remotely, have it done remotely. Whatever work cannot be done remotely, find some other work for those people.
Right.
So there are a lot of tough decisions going to be made. You're going to have more people who are out of their corporate jobs and they join our breed of freelancers.
Yep.
You have to have something ready for them too. So there's a lot of things that changes that are happening. The key is not to use the old strategies in the new world. The old strategies are project yourself like a hero, be arrogant. We have to come down. We have to be open. We have to be humble. Otherwise, it will not work.
And
The
is
mind works best when open. Yeah, please.
does this go to HR heads, L&D heads, and all? So which means
Oh,
that cut copy paste will not work now.
I hope so. I hope so. See, right now, uh, people are looking. They're looking for people who want to really add value. So I would suggest for you also, Raj, if you have something, some ideas that are of value, today is the time where probably it will work. This is the time where they'll be willing to listen to something that is of substance. Because unless there is pain, people don't look for solutions. Very few people want to learn something before they need to learn it. And then when they need to learn it, it's probably too late. Can I share with you a story? Trainer
Sure.
story? Huh?
Sure.
There was this guy who was in a desert. And in this desert, he was very thirsty. And he was so thirsty that
He has
there
to
was no
become
water.
water.
There was no water in the desert.
Okay.
He had money, but he had no water.
Right.
So he was looking and looking and looking, and then he saw one guy on a camel after a couple of hours. And he said, wow, this guy on a camel, he looks like he has many things. Let me go to him and ask him for water. So he goes to him, he says, do you have some water? He says, no. He says, if you have water, give me, I'll give you money. He says, no, but I'm selling ties. No, I have tie. He said, I don't want your ties. He said, listen, you buy 2 ties, I'll give you 1 free. He said, are you stupid? Are you crazy? I don't want your ties. I want water. You give me water, I'll give you money. He said, listen, I'll give you a discount. And you see this lovely design, it's made in this. I said, what's wrong with you, man? So the guy goes away. 2 hours, he keeps looking. Again, he finds another guy who's on another camel. And he goes to him. He says, I hope you are not like that first guy. He said, you met my competitor. He said, what do you mean? You also are selling ties. He said, I want water. He said, I don't have water. But whatever my competitor gave you, I'll give you a better price. I'll give you 3 ties free on every 2 ties you buy. He got angry with him. He left him. 1 hour later, this man was very thirsty by this time and fed up. He finds a restaurant in the middle of the desert. He's very happy because he has money. He can go in there, order something to drink, get his water. But when he goes there, there are some bouncers, security guys standing outside. He said, you cannot enter unless you have a tie.
Boom.
So the analogy that I use in this for our trainer friends and for people who want to learn is that when we need to learn something, it may be too late. And when we are giving you something to learn, you say, I don't need this now. So from your perspective, you don't need it, but you don't know. So, and usually people at the higher level in organizations have a better perspective. So there's more chance of people who really want to do value, give value to a company. There's more chance of them being heard today because people are hurting. They're in crisis. They're in pain. This is my suggestion.
Super. So listen,
Yes, Raj.
take us through the other side. That's what.
After we are out of this,
Yeah. So how? So I need a game plan from you with so much of knowledge and experience. You tell us, guide us, coach us, direct us. Give me
oh,
that.
Raj,
What is your
let me share
100
some
days?
ideas. Yeah.
What is your 100 days plan to get to the other side?
100 days plan, I have not chalked out in a way that I can share it with you. If you're telling me what do I suggest to people to do,
Yep.
I would. Can I sum it up trainer style so that it becomes clearer for people? Because we'll be
Awesome.
speaking about lots of things.
Awesome.
So I say renew. Just said one word. What do we need to do post COVID, and what do we need to do for the post COVID now? because it's going to go away. We're going to be okay. How we're going to be okay, I don't know, but it's good to believe it gives energy. Huh? So, renew. R is respond. So when I say respond, for each of these things, I'll give you two things, okay? So that it becomes clear. This becomes like a takeaway for your people. Huh?
Awesome.
Respond. When I say respond, I'm saying don't react. So I'm saying use what we call zero-based thinking. Zero-based thinking is look at things with a fresh eye. When something comes in front of you, don't look at it. How did I used to do it? No, look at it with fresh eyes. If it's zero-based, it's like in Harvard Business School they call it sunk cost effect. Because I have been doing things in this way all my life, and I've invested so much in it. Today I have, but if I'm not getting anything out of it, let me continue to do it that way because I've done it for so long. So people say bad relationships, bad businesses, bad models. I always say, and this is input for our people from our community, who are consultants, who are trainers, and people from the HR community also, but more for the freelancers. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Money is also a reality. So sometimes before you build your brand or by the time you do all these things we're talking about, use this time to do all that is my suggestion. But suppose somebody is not ready and this whole thing is over sooner than we expected, then what we need to do is also, I would say, hedge your risks. Don't put everything, don't follow these motivational trainers who say, put everything into it and believe you will do it and you will succeed. That's stupid. You have to be practical. Whenever you take up something, please put everything into it. That is 100% true. Put 100% focus, put 100% energy, put 100% involvement, but also have what they say in Vedanta, Sakshi Bhav or Drishta Bhav. Be a witness and see reality. See if it's working or not working. Don't be like an ostrich with positive thinking all the time. It will work, it's not working. So we learn from reality. So I'm saying respond. So the R ka hai, respond. In respond, one of the points is use zero-based thinking, look at things freshly. The second one I'm saying is adapt. Adapt because as things change, you change. All this comes under one R, which is respond. This R is from renew, where the E is excel. I'm just summarizing everything we've spoken about so far. Excel because the bar is raised. Excel because only when you add value will you be able to survive and thrive. Excel, how you excel? 2 points for excelling. One is learn everything. Don't learn just what you like to learn. So for running a business, you need to learn marketing. I know so many trainers who are so lousy at marketing and they don't want to do marketing. I mean, come on, yeah. If any business, whether it's training business, consulting business, or any product business, you have the basics. You need to know marketing, you need to know finance, you need to know this, you need to know that. I don't want it. I will do only what I love to do. This is again one American problem, motivational speakers. They messed up some people. When people don't understand the whole thing, they get messed up with these messages. You cannot only do what you love to do. You have to learn to love to do the things you have to do to succeed. So, how do you learn to love to do? How do you learn to love something? By learning it. A friend of mine asked me, he said, I told my friend, I don't like playing chess. So he says, you know why you don't like playing chess, Avi? He told me. I said, why? He said, because you don't know chess. I said, what? He said, if you learn chess, if you learn the moves, if you master the moves, you win 1 or 2 games, you will love it. So we can love finance, we can love marketing, we can love motivational speaking, we can love everything. No, I am a trainer who only speaks, who only works with 10 people. More than 20 people or 20, more than 20 people, you will not have effectiveness. Who told you? This is because you cannot do more than 20 people. So increase the capability, learn everything that needs to be learned, not just what you love to learn. That is learn. Second thing is pay the price. Pay the price of learning, please. People are willing to say, okay, if you give it to me, I'll learn. They say I'm open to learning, but they're not willing to put in the discipline, the determination. They're not willing to acknowledge their teachers. I found very few of even the top speakers, top trainers, consultants who talk about their beginnings and where they came from. Very, very few people. And you were not born out of your mother's womb saying, hey guys, don't worry, man, I'm a motivational speaker. It doesn't work like that. So, and if you are somewhere, you have to acknowledge that person. So one politician told me one day, he said, "Sabka baap hota hai." Okay. Acknowledge your bap, man. Be proud of it. Don't compete even with your bap. It's stupid. So pay the price. Then RE, respond, excel. N is niche. Niche. Find your niche. And in niche, I will say there's two things. Niche is where your talent meets the market needs. Huh? But you still have to put effort. Even that is not enough. So niche is learn how to influence more people to know that you are in that niche, or influence more people through that niche. So, for example, if it is, see, what happens with people is they pay lots of money to become a trainer. Huh? Either they become a khichdi trainer, Belpuri trainer, which means they take one certificate NLP, one certificate EA, one certificate, trainer ban gaya. Or they become like specialized trainer. They put some lakhs of rupees and they become one brand, Stephen Covey trainer or Edward De Bono trainer. Huh? So itna paisa usme dala, so we have to do only that. So my problem with people, I love it. Any learning is good. I believe there should be more trainers. Everybody should be a trainer. Because if anybody helps anybody, it's good. The problem is when you get stuck to that thing that you learned and you try to use that one hammer on everything. You have to have an array. That's why we created the MetaMind alignment thing, because now you have lots of tools to use. Depending on the individual, depending on the case, you use that which will work. Your allegiance should be to the result of what your client wants. Allegiance should not be to where I come from, so I'm only this. So niche is good, but please cater the niche to delivering results. Don't say my niche is knitting. अरे उससे क्या होगा? किसका पेट भरेगा? If you say niche is dancing, show me how dancing will improve my business. Or give me my. That's right. Absolutely. So niche, we say number one is influence for results. Influence. Use your niche for the result. The second thing for niche I say is build a brand in your niche. Please build yourself as a brand in that niche and let there be consistency in that. And for building a brand in your niche, if you don't have money to build a brand, your speech, your clarity, your positioning of who you are, what is the benefit, and there are ways to learn that, will be the brand. Because at least you have to say something that you do, if other people are not saying for you. Then E, R is respond, E is excel, N is niche, E is engage. Engage is what we spoke about right in the beginning. Engage with people from different niches. Engage with people like what you are. You are doing a phenomenal job, Taj, by engaging with people. And so the more you engage with your clients, the more you engage with your colleagues, the more you engage with your students, the more new things will come out. For engaging, you need two things. Number one, we need to be open-minded. And we are not open-minded, we are prejudiced. We have egos. Number two is we need to lower our ego and we need to lower our arrogance. Can I tell you one quick story?
Yeah.
There were, thank you. There were three men, grown men, out of which one was an old man who was a grandfather, and the fourth passenger in this aircraft was a 12-year-old boy. So there are four passengers. It's just a story. So it's only four passengers, small aircraft. Three grown men, one small boy. One of the grown men is the grandfather of this small boy. And there is one pilot. Halfway through the journey, when they're up in the sky, the pilot says, there's something wrong with this plane. It's going to crash. It's just a joke. So there are some parachutes there. You guys figure it out. I'm going. He takes his parachute and jumps. Parachute, he puts it on. And when you jump, you press the button, the parachute comes, you're safe. So now these three guys and this one boy are there. But there are only three parachutes. So there are no four people, but three parachutes. So one of these guys, let's call him Ramesh, very arrogant businessman or top corporate executive. He says, without me, my business will not run. Nothing will happen. And I don't know what you guys are doing, but I'm going to do what I have to do. He picks up the thing, he puts it on, and he jumps down. Now there are three of them left. And the other young guy says, listen, I run a business of my own also. It's a small business. I have to do many things. I have many ambition. I have 100-day plan and all. So, so you are an old man. You are a young kid. You will do nothing. So he takes one parachute and jumps off. So who's left? The grandfather and the grandson. Grandfather says, listen, there's only one parachute left. The other two guys are gone. I love you a lot and you have a longer life to live. You go. Grandson says, but grandpa, why? We have two parachutes. He said, how? What happened? He said, no, that Ramesh uncle, that arrogant guy, he picked up my school bag and he jumped. So, So sometimes too much of arrogance, too much of ego, too much of trying to show that you're very good, which many of the people who are freelancers, consultants, and experts, and it's part of the job. It's part of the job to position yourself like an expert. But don't do it when you have to learn.
Yeah.
The problem is, it's like, going into a temple, take out your chappal outside and go inside. Huh? When you come out, take it, put it on and go. Don't leave it there. Huh? So ego is like that. You use it when you have to use it to do your marketing, to do your business, to build your confidence, to impress your students. But don't use it when you have to learn.
Right.
But otherwise, you'll be like the guy who jumps off with the parachute, with the school bag. So this is engage. Huh? The last one, R was respond, E was excel, N was niche, E was engage, W is a wow. Huh? Wow yourself and wow your clients. How do you wow? When I say clients, I mean it could be if you're a manager, a corporate manager, wow your team. Huh? Wow yourself. How you wow yourself? Keep yourself on a wow all the time. Don't listen to negative garbage. Use all your training and motivation on yourself. Be a product of the product. So people looking at you know that you're using it. It's not just words. So you wow yourself, motivate yourself, and then to motivate yourself, in case people don't know what to do exactly, I'm saying three things only: courage, bold action. Just sitting in one place and having courage is khayali pulao. You have to take action, and then you see if it's working or not and change. So courage, bold action, and unshakable belief. This will build a wow for yourself. Wow for others will come if you learn the skill of impressive speaking, which includes the words, the voice, everything, the theatrics, everything, and the content. The content has to make sense. So one is you learn how to be an effective speaker. Today's day and age, most required skill. Done, man.
Wow.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Beautiful. So
Thank you.
basically, renew yourself
That's right.
for the other side.
That's right. Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
this
Well,
is the time.
I love the way you summarize. Powerful.
Always. Well, lovely, lovely talking to you. Thanks a ton for your time. And thank you so much.
Thank
Appreciate
you. Thank
this.
you.
This
Appreciate
is
it.
all for our community. Going back
Absolutely.
to them. I hope somebody somewhere gets inspired to renew themselves for the other
Absolutely.
side.
It's time. It's the time to do it.
Time to do it.
That's right.
Well,
Lovely.
thanks a
Thank you.
ton. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
very much. Thanks a lot. Bye
Yeah.
bye.
Hey, 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 hey. How was it? Fabulous, huh? What a guy. I'm sure you love the kid. Well, thanks for watching and listening. And if you really, really loved it, don't forget to show it on social media. So subscribe us on YouTube, on Apple, on Google, on Spotify, and don't forget to like and comment. I'll be back with you guys soon with another awesome speaker. Till then, me, this corporate hippie, Raj, signing off. Stay connected, stay safe. Cheers.